Well, they got it to bonus hockey, but not very well after that. Blues did a good job controlling the puck until O'Reilly tried to go behind the net. He loses it, and that's all Nashville needs to win this game 4-3. Ashley called it. That's right. Ashley said 4-3, but she thought the Blues would win. I thought it'd be a closer game. I said 2-1. I got to hand it to Ashley though. She's called the score of the last two games. Hand it to her. You know, this is just one of those games. It just doesn't. You know, sometimes they go, oh, no audio. Not. Do you have me now? Do you have me now, Jose? Ignore you. Maybe on Jose. No, this is just one of those games where things didn't go the right way. Yeah, I'm not sure. Joshua says, glad we got a point, but man, we should have won it. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of halfway there. Kind of halfway. You know, they played good enough to win it in the first. They definitely played decent in the second. But in the third, they didn't play like they wanted it. I mean, it was great that Tarasenko, who I called, scored that goal to tie it back up. But it's the fact that they let in another early goal in a period that, you know, I'll tell you who had the worst game for the Blues. And maybe, well, I'll see who you guys think had the worst game for the Blues. It's probably not who I think it is that you think it is. I seen Barbashev on the top line. You know what? Put Barbashev back. If you're going to move Barbashev, put him back with Tarasenko. When Barbashev, Thomas, and Tarasenko was on that line, it was clicking. It was clicking, and you need to get back to that. You absolutely need to get back to that line clicking. And then Barbashev, or Thomas and Tarasenko just couldn't get in sync in the overtime. I mean, Tarasenko had that one good shot on there. But other than that, they just never seem to get on sync. Like they weren't talking to each other like you thought they would, or that they should know what they were doing. So I'm more, if Barbashev's going to move, put him on that second line. I'd have rather seen Saad back up there, right? Or you've seen Saad down on that third line. I did not like, Morton says got to give Nashville credit. Yeah, Nashville's a good team. I said it from the get-go. Was you know, yeah. Chris says crap. Nashville is a good team. Nashville is going to challenge for a playoff spot, right? Right now, the only good thing in our favor is we are probably going to stay in second. As the last I looked, the Wild were losing. The Avalanche are just destroying the Canucks 6-0 at the end of the second. The Golden Knights are up 2-0 at the end of the first. The Ducks are up 1-0 at the end of the first. A lot of shutouts today. Oilers beat the Bruins 5-3. Draisaitl had 2 goals. Nothing for McDavid. Canadians beat the Flames 4-2. The Kings shut out the Senators 2-0. The Kings are 8-5-1. That doesn't make that overtime loss seem as bad against them now. That's a good team. I mean, they at least right now they're showing that they're a good team. Devils shut out the Islanders. The Islanders are on the 11th of a 13-game road trip. Wow. They open up their new stadium a week from Saturday on the 20th. That's why they're on that long road trip. Penguins gave the Panthers a point, but went in a shootout 3-2. Red Wings got shut out by the Capitals 2-0, and the Jets beat the Sharks 4-1. A little West Side Story. As that new movie's coming up, the Jets versus the Sharks. Jets take this one. Interesting night. Tomorrow you have the Oilers against the Sabres, the Flames against the Maple Leafs. Flyers against the Hurricane Capitals at Blue Jackets, and the Coyotes will take on the Blackhawks. Something I did not talk about in the first period was I missed. Sorry. Oh, I'm getting some feedback.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as I brought you in, I got some feedback. Yeah, it's coming from you. So a little bit of feedback coming from you, so you might want to turn your sound down or something.
I mean, I'm pretty low.
Okay. Well, we're getting a little bit of feedback. I think we can deal with it. Where are we at here? So I was talking. I went over the overtime scores. Who on the Blues do you think had a bad game tonight?
Pareko.
That's exactly who I thought. Pareko.
He was on the for all 3 regulation goals. So
Yeah. It was Pareko, but not only that, 2 of them were definitely on him for being out of position.
yeah,
Right?
exactly.
The second and the third goal were on him for being out of position. So, am I on tomorrow? Yes, I plan on being on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll talk about what's going on in the league. See what's up. See if the Blues make any moves before they go to Carolina for the weekend tilt against Carolina, and then back home against Edmonton. Wow, man. That wasn't too horrible of a game tonight. Glad we got at least. Chris, you're right. It wasn't too bad. Blues are not. Blues are off tomorrow. They play on Saturday in Carolina, and that's going to be a big, good game.
Yeah. This game we did deserve to lose after winning that Winnipeg game because we didn't deserve to win that one. We really probably should have won this one, but
no, I could take this as an okay loss. Well, yes and no. This is one of them that I'm iffy on. First of all, you came out 2-0. Pareko is good, but people think he's one of the best in the league at this point. He is. Oh, I agree with you. I don't think he's one of the best in the league.
I agree with you, Lance.
He's just a tier below one of the best. He could be one of the best if he starts letting his shot go and doesn't play 30 minutes a night back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games, so that might help out. Hey, but Lance, I sent you a link. If you want to come on, bud, you're more than welcome. Carolina is going to be intense for me to watch. Carolina is going to be intense for everybody to watch. Because that game's going to go. I mean, this sounds really weird, but that game's either going to be a 0-0, 1-0, all-end-all game, or it's going to be an absolute shootout. Absolute shootout. And Lance, I agree with you here on Pareko. He is absolutely too nice on the ice. That is an absolute dead-on statement. And tonight he didn't finish with checks. Yeah, I know. That humming's coming from Ashley. Ashley, see if you can drop out and then come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, I know she's getting that. Hopefully that'll clear up. I'm not sure where it's coming because we haven't had it all day today, but I don't know if she changed something or whatever. It happens, and I apologize. We do what we can there. You need to spend time with your buddy Pronger. Oh, I agree with that. Lambert says 4-2 Carolina. Chris, I that's a good chance. That is a good chance. This is going to be the Carolina game. That's your litmus test, right? That is your absolute litmus test. It's gone.
Okay.
Right? Was that your phone or your computer? Or?
My computer was plugged in because I had to switch to this other one, and I'm also going to get closer to the Wi-Fi box.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the Wi-Fi. I mean, it was a feedback. It was a mic issue.
Oh, no, I know that, but I lag a little bit in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. We got the noise fixed. Chris said 4-2 Carolina. I think it's off. He needs to. Pareko needs to spend time with Pronger. I agree there. It should be a high-scoring game, or it could be 1-0. Yeah, that's what I think. It's one of those. It's not going to be in between, right? It's not going to be an in-between game. Greg Kane says, any chances we get Kirk back? No. Nope. He is still not available. Neither will. Okay, yeah, because she had that buzz, I had her down. So let me bring her up a little bit and bring me down a little bit. There you go. Let's see how that is.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot better. Lot better. Okay. So, so I got that fixed, Jason. Uh, so no, we will not have either Krug or Mikola back. I know that. Um, 27P, 36B, shots on goal. Oh, Predator. Yeah, okay. 27 for the Predators. Yeah, the Blues had shots. They did have shots. I admit that. Not the chances though were definitely for the Predators, right?
Hmm.
And I know I'll get killed, but Bennington didn't have a great game tonight. He had a good game. He didn't have a great game. Um, some of this loss is on him. Not all of it, but some of it is. And I'm not bagging on him. I'm just making an assessment. Um, this game will tell us a lot about the team and where they're absolutely. The Carolina game is the litmus test, right? That is the litmus test, and that's going to show you if this team is legitimate or if there's problems down the road. And yes, you're going to see that much from one game, right? Carolina is going to show the Blues that they still got some work to do if we are going to be a top team. And that's highly possible. Highly possible. Much better. Too many takeaways. Yeah, that was on both sides, though. You know, there were a lot of takeaways, giveaways there. I saw that. There was again, one thing that the Blues have had problems with is crisp passing, right? And it wasn't crisp tonight, and that was a lot. We lost the game. It was O'Reilly running into the net and falling down, turned into an odd man break for Nashville. Yeah, I mean that's the overall. But if you want to know why we really lost this game, we lost this game because when we had a 2-0 lead, we didn't come out ready to play in the second, and they did, and quicksand happened, right? And it took, by the time quicksand finished, it was a tie game, and then we were down 3-2. So that's why we lost the game, not just the play there. There's more to it to me. Jason thinks Thomas is killing us in the offensive zone, too much trying to carry the puck around, turning it over, blind pass to the defenses. He is killing drives way too much. Well, you know what? I don't think Tom. You sit there. He had 2 takeaways, 1 giveaway. He had 9 faceoff wins. He was a -1 with 2 assists. I'm not gonna just looking at those numbers. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit there and bag on him like you are. Right? I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't see it as much as you do, bud.
I don't see it at all.
Hold on a second. I'm having a computer issue here for a second. Give me just a moment to try and figure something out. So, what do you think, Ashley? What's your?
I mean, honestly, I don't know why he has all that hate on Thomas. Thomas had a really good game. Thomas was great on the face-off circle. He's making some great, play in general. He just can't seem to shoot the puck to make it in the net, but he's a playmaker. I'm with, I forgot who said it already. I think it was Jose. That O'Reilly, crash did not help. But I'm happy that we at least got 1 point out of this because that second period coming out and just being kind of lackadaisical at first led to them tying it.
Yeah, that's the overall. That's what caused the nail in the coffin. But there were other things that were there also that have to be looked at, and that's where I come in at. I don't know why my show isn't showing up on my Facebook. Someone wanted to know where. Hold on a second. Let me put him there. For some reason, my show's not showing up, so I can't share it. I don't know why it's being dumb today, but it is. But some people are finding me, so that's good. Where are we at? Okay. Lance said the defense was good and Bennington was average. This team's most nights will need him to be great. I don't think they need him to be great. They need him to be a little bit better than average. They need him to be good, not great, but good. And tonight, I don't think it was there. Um, Lance says zero killer instinct. Too much trying to handle the puck through too many players. Now that I did see. That I did see tonight. Team continues to lack killer instinct. I seen that, and Thomas had a decent game. I agree. Overall, I'm not too disappointed with this game, but had some spots, but still tied. Tried. Yeah, this is a blah game for me, right? It's like, you know what? It's the Winnipeg game. Everyone's celebrating that Winnipeg win, and I went, oh, okay, we stole one. Blah. This is okay. We lost this one. Blah. Right? And that's how I kind of feel about it. It's a blah loss, just like the Winnipeg was a blah win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And sometimes you're going to have games like that. This is an 82 game season, and we're only at game, 12?
Mm-hmm.
We're 15% through the season. Right? The great thing about being 15% through the season is we're getting an idea of where things are sitting. Right? We're getting an idea of where things are sitting. They're not as great as we thought. They're not as bad as they could be. They're not as great as they could be. They're a little bit better than what we thought, but there's still signs that they could be as bad as we thought, or worse than we thought. So it's kind of in there. Robert says, last couple of years, Thomas looked like Kyrie does this year. Yes, Thomas has a decent game, but Thomas used to stand out in my opinion. Yeah, I think he did, but I think he's falling into his role as a playmaker a little bit better. And I think because he's falling into that playmaker role, it's things are seeing it in a little bit. Actually, the season's not even it's a 26-mile run. It's a marathon, and we're only at mile 1. A little bit past mile 2.5. But it's smart. It's good to see that. Now I say this, and I keep bringing back 2017-18. Where the Blues in the month of October, the first, I think it was 14 games, went 10-3-1. Or 11-2-1. It was either 10-3-1 or 11-2-1. And still missed the playoffs that season. Went from being the best team in the league to missing the playoffs. So you've got to remember there's a lot going around. 10-3-1. Okay, I knew it was somewhere in that vicinity. I just couldn't remember. But that's just where you got to kind of look at. So where we're at right now at this 12-game mark is okay, but have we really played? How many contenders have we played? And in all out, maybe one. Right? I mean, the Avalanche. That's probably the only contender that we played so far. Well, now we just saw Nashville, who's a better team than everybody thought. We just saw Winnipeg, who's a better team than everybody thought. We're about to see Carolina, who's a contender. And we're about to see Edmonton on back-to-back nights, who's also a contender. The Knights. Okay, yeah. I think we caught the Knights at a lucky point. I don't think the night team we played was a contender team. They could be a contender, but I think when we got them, they weren't. Okay, go ahead.
You see, you keep making these excuses for these other teams. Oh, we didn't catch them on a good night. You're downplaying the fact that the Blues are also not having a full deck of cards right now. They're doing well. Now, when you get your Krug back, you get your spare defense back, you get Shen back, this team is going to be somebody that can contend. They're playing pretty darn well considering what they're missing.
Yeah, Marianne's asking, I'm going to respond to that real quick. Marianne's that, do we start the rookie in one game? I think that Husso will be back and Husso will start one. Right? I think Husso starts against, and it scares me, but I think he's going to start against Edmonton. Right? And it's, oh my goodness. I mean, could you have it any worse? I mean, if you need
Unless, but I strongly doubt it, unless he starts that game and can shut out again. Then he proves that he belongs, as the backup. He takes away the fear that people have in him. So it could be his chance to shine.
yeah, you know what? You're right. But how many people have shut out McDavid? I mean, the dude's on a tear this season. So it's now back to what you're saying. I guess I'm harder on the Blues when they win than when they lose. I guess I see. I guess after years and years and years of watching this team fool me, I have a bit of a, and I don't know what the right term for it is, but I have a bit of a wait and see, a show me attitude.
I get it. I have it too, but I'm seeing so much potential with the way that they are overcoming these COVID issues, these injuries. I mean, I don't see this team not being a contender when they are at full strength.
Um, okay, and that's a fair point. That's a fair point. At full strength, are the Blues a contender? And I'd have to say right now, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, yes, I will give that. But let's see how we play when we play contenders. Right, and I'm sure that Edmonton. I don't know what Edmonton's or Carolina is playing with. Either way, out guys. I'll have to check on that, but we'll go. So Jose says this was not a bad loss. It was a bad second period. I love how we fought back to tie it and steal a point, and Bozak did a great job shadowing Kuhn and getting the puck away from him in the third. Yeah, I did see that. That's a great point. I'll give him that. Lance says every team goes through injuries. The good teams play well no matter what. That is a good statement. Full on agreed. When everyone is off COVID list, perhaps you'll see us take off. I'd love to see that. Rise to the occasion, Husso. I have zero issues starting him against Edmonton. Man, I'm scared to start Bennington against Edmonton, to be honest. And that's just who Edmonton is. So Chris Lambert says I can see potential in Husso. Matt says I'm a little jaded, and that's understandable. And Marianne says she likes both the Russian lines. Yeah, I mean, our Russians are playing good. In fact, if you noticed, they had 4 guys from Team Russia scouting the game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they're looking at Tarasenko and Barbashev and Bushnevich and Kostin. Yeah, so there's some going on there. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Finnish team is looking at Husso.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised if the Finnish team, though the Finnish have like 4 or 5 goaltenders in the league. I'd have to look, but they've got some goaltenders in the league. And then also Bennington is obviously going to be a possible 1 or 2 goalie for Team Canada, right? That's almost. Bob Morton says, I feel like watching them, the Blues, since Shin's injury, the spark has not been there, even if they're winning games. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then Lance says goalies love playing against top players and teams. And I hope so. I really do hope so. I would love to see us shut down both Carolina and Edmonton. I would love it.
There's no way we win both, but I would love to see us win one.
Yeah. Well, we could lose 2-1 and I'd be happy there.
Mm-hmm.
At least our goaltending is shutting them down. Good striking point. I'm not sure what he's meaning by there.
Not sure either.
Any word on Shin? Shin is day to day. So I could see Shin back for. Tessa says you look tired, Ashley. Get feeling better, dear. I agree. I won't keep you too much longer. I think Shin could be back by the Edmonton game.
I'm hoping.
That's a home game. That's a home game. He doesn't need to travel. Got the time to get better. There's not going to be a practice on Sunday. The game's a little bit earlier too, so it's like a 6:00 game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, it's a 6:00 game. So like a 1:30, or is it a 6 or Yeah, I think it's a 6 o'clock game Sunday, so a little bit earlier. One thing I want to talk about before we go out, something happened. Chris Lambert was replying to Bob Morton. Okay. Sometimes I can. Lance doesn't think he's back that soon. Well, we'll see. I mean, he might not be. It's just kind of my feeling. Something happened today that hasn't been talked about, but it's actually pretty huge. The Blues were supposed to play on ABC on Thanksgiving Day against Chicago. That has now been removed, and they will play on ESPN Plus and Hulu. The Rangers and Boston are now going to play in place of them. No reason given, but right there, that's got to. This is a lot bigger than people.
I think that it has a lot to do with Chicago, and
oh no, it does. It does. I think it. Well, they're not saying why, but I think this has a lot to do with Chicago. I think that they don't want the Thanksgiving game is like the Thanksgiving game is like the Winter Classic. It's a what do you call it? Showcase. Right? Showcase game, just like the football games that are on Thanksgiving Day. This is the showcase. I don't think it's East Coast bias on this one, Lance. I think this has everything to do with the Blackhawks situation being so fresh. I don't think you're going to see the Blackhawks on national TV. I can see some of that being moved around.
I'm with you, Robert Morton.
And Chicago not being good, plus the off-ice stuff. Now, okay, I would say the bigger market is they're looking for a rivalry game, and they had a good rivalry game, right? And that's what they wanted. With the Chicago issues, they don't want that to be part of the showcase. Bringing Boston in, and I think that was a backup all along. I think that there was a backup, that they scheduled a backup in case something happens or whatever, and this is the time to go with that backup. Will it be a better game? I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I think the fact that what's happening in Chicago right now, man, if I'm the league, well, they're not punishing the Blues. That they're really not, and that's the thing that you have to understand, Mary. This doesn't punish the Blues. The game's still being played. It's still insane. I think it's in Chicago. It's still being played. It's the Blues are still the better team. So what? It's not on national television. That doesn't punish them one way or the other. They still get the TV money.
Yeah.
Right? The TV money gets split evenly. It doesn't matter who's on, who isn't.
And I don't agree with saying that any of the East Coast teams have a bigger market, because St. Louis has actually pulled some of the biggest numbers for NHL playoffs whenever we had the Stanley Cup run. I mean, our market is actually better than people give us credit for.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to games, yes, absolutely. Yes, our market is better than what people think. Rangers are fun to watch. Has me reminiscent of '94. Yeah, there's some teams that's the surprising thing right now, and that's why I'm waiting to get to that 25% mark, right?
Yeah.
Which when you look at it, that's 20 games, right? 22 games is the 25% mark, right? 24 games is and that's what I'm kind of waiting to see where we're at that 24 game mark. And where we go. Nick Formato says Florida is good. Yeah, they are a good team. And not only that, you got to look. We've got a home and home against Tampa Bay, followed by Florida. Home against Tampa, at Florida, home against Florida. Oh my goodness, are those 4 games going to be freaking important?
Yes, they will.
End of November, beginning of December, and that's where we're kind of. That's kind of where it's going with this team. That's going to be, this is the first litmus test. That's the big litmus test. right? That's the one that goes, okay, you deserve to be the 4th or 5th team in the power rankings. Because that's where we are in almost every single power ranking. There was one I saw that had the Blues at 7th. I think it was Sports Illustrated. But both the NHL had us at 4th and ESPN had us at 5th. I didn't see where Yahoo was. I don't pay a lot of attention to Yahoo, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, we're right at that 30-minute mark, Ashley, and I know you're beat to death, and I apologize for bringing you
Hey,
on.
man, I'm here.
All right, you didn't have to be though, and I appreciate you. I really
I
do.
wouldn't let you down, buddy. And I got these cheerleaders in this chat too. Thank you all for being concerned, and I'm gonna get a good night's sleep tonight.
Right. So last checks on the thing. Agree on St. Louis being a great potential market, not just for Blues but Cardinals too. Oh, when it comes to Cardinals, they are the top. They rate right there with Los Angeles and New York. Okay, the fact that they're only 3 teams have draw 3 million fans a year. New York, the Yankees, not even the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and St. Louis. Okay, that's telling you something. Look at those 2 markets, right? There's 12 million people in New York. There's 5 or 6 million in LA. And I'm talking the downtown area, not even the multiplex, just the downtown areas. And here we are with 1.4 or 1.5 million all around, the whole area, right? Suburbs included. So this is the fact that they can pull that and that the Blues pull that does mean that we are, when it comes to following our teams, we are much, much better.
I agree 100%.
Jose says, agree with us watching, but ABC will be up against the NFL. Huge TV holiday for Boston and much, much bigger markets. I mean, they're going to use that as the excuse, but it has everything to do with what's going on in Chicago. That's all there is to it.
It's Chicago.
Robert, personally, Portland great mean doo-doo to me. I actually like them. I'm a fan of power rankings. I really do.
I enjoy reading them to get an idea of what they think is going on, but usually it gets thrown out the window because they have their own bias for whichever team is closest to them, whoever's writing it.
Right. Well, Ashley, thank you. Chris is saying thank you for trudging on. Chris, I'm going to tell you this, but I know you're watching. You were probably one of the best intermission guests, and when I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about someone that does this. Okay, I'm not talking about a podcaster or talking about for a fan to come on the show. You are one of the best we've had. That is a no-brainer, bud. You did a wonderful job. Very knowledgeable. You're very well. You know what? We're gonna have you back on. You might even be. We might even bring you on for pregame and post games. I think that you would be a great co-host. If Ashley couldn't come on a show or I couldn't come on a show, I think you'd be a great co-host.
I already told him that if it ever gets to a point where I have to do another show alone, I would invite him. And I already told you this in a chat, Chris, but I'm just so proud of you, man. You really showed that you know your hockey.
Yeah, you did. You did a great job. You answered great questions. You asked great questions. I was very happy with how that went out. I've had problems in the past, and I was skeptical, and I have to be.
Yeah.
Don't take that any way wrong. I have to be. But you did very, very well. I'm very happy, and like I said, I need to expand. I want more co-hosts. I want more fans to come in and be on the show. And if you can do it, great. Like Ashley knows, what we do here, what I do, and I don't mean this, I'm not trying to be unhumble. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
Right? The amount of stuff that you have to remember. Oh, I'd love to have Jose.
Oh, Jose, I would love for you to co-host.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have to get Jose as a co-host one time. Right? We'll have to set that up here pretty soon, Jose. I'll have to talk to you. I don't know.
But that would have to be a show that I sit out at because I want to watch him.
See, there you go. I know how funny he can be, and I know how funny he cannot be. I've seen both sides of that, and he knows what I'm talking about. He'll tell you. I'm not being mean there. He knows what I'm talking about. Chris says, I understand. Thank you. That means a great big lot. Well, you're welcome, bud. You're welcome, and I'm in it. And Jose, we'll set something up. But what I was trying to say is what to do this, it's not easy. And it's not, I know you can do it on the cheap, but I'm not doing it on the cheap. Right? Ashley, you know what my gear is. You've seen my gear. You've seen what it takes. You know what it takes to set this up. The only good thing is StreamYard now has teams, so I can add people to my team, right? So
Okay.
you could be able to share along with, off of my team. So
Oh,
you
awesome.
could come in on my team and share it to my pages and things like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have to look at it a little more because it does cost, and I got to see if I can afford it. But we'll kind of go from there. Great show tonight. Great show all the way through. Really good discussions, really good topics. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. You know what you mean to me. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us tonight and being a co-host on the Blue Note Fan Report.
My pleasure, friend.
Okay, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for Ashley Slapshot Jones saying aloha, mahalo, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the Hockey Fan Report. Aloha.